Okay, welcome back. This will be the Wild Willie Borscht Winged Express Altered Rod uh, final video. We're finally going to be done here, guys. What a great kit this has been. Um, in my ideation phase, one of my ideas was to make the T-body portion of the car removable. That is not going to really work out. I'll explain why in just a second. But anyway, let's take a quick look at it at this current stage, because this will really be the last time you'll get a chance to see it like this. So what we have here is the tube frame with the whole enchilada is all put together in here now. This wire hanging out here, I dug through the parts box and got a coil. So I'm going to probably put that on the firewall or maybe on the frame and then wire that in at the very last step once I get the T-bucket body over the frame. These filler pieces over here, the wing obviously, the tires and the caps for the front, and the axle, which I did tape to the box top, so I haven't lost that. That's with me here. The reason I'm not going to be able to make the T-bucket body removable is this parachute fits onto the frame right with these two connections right here very closely, and it's just the very slightest amount of clearance between the bottom of the chute and the top of the T-bucket here. So there's just not enough room to wiggle this out. And you know, you got to have a parachute, right? Every single picture that this car ever ran, it's got the deployment of the parachute at the as it crosses the finish line. So you know, we'll talk a little bit more about it in just a second when we get it all put together. But I wanted you guys to see it like this. And then we'll go ahead and complete it. All right, bye. Okay, back. Here we are. It all fell together very nicely. I'm going to rotate this around. I don't have one of those fancy stands, you know, the motorized ones with the battery, but maybe one day I'll get one of those. So you want to be careful here when you're putting the wheel caps on. I was doing it and I succeeded in tearing the whole front end off, and I'll show you the clip of how I did that and then what I had to do to get back. But yeah, you want to be very careful up in here. Yeah. Tore the whole front end of the car off. Yeah, you want to make sure you don't do what I did, guys, when you're putting these wheel caps on. Be real careful, because I just tore the whole front end of the car off and had to do reverse surgery to get it all put back together again. All the hairpins and the axle and the primary and secondary linkages up here all came off. The whole thing was just sitting on the ground. Okay, back to where we were. All right, we're going to continue. But it all went together very nicely, right? And you'll see here, I think it looks pretty good. Everything fit together real nice. The wing, those support pieces, the parachute there. I kind of went around here after I painted all the different shades of black and picked out different bolts with silver. I think it helps to the overall visual interest. Over here on this section where, you know, they molded in on the kit, those side panels, right, which we talked about a couple different times in the build. Those aren't, of course, they're on the real model, the real one-to-one. In the decal sheet, you're going to see that is the place where they do a call out for the Howard cams. And since you don't have that piece of plastic panel there, there's really no other place you could put this Howard cam decal. They do give you another, I'm sorry, I realize you can't see it, it's white on white, but it's a signature script lettering Howard cams, very similar to the Marcellus and Borscht that's up here on the front of the car and the shroud. And I'm thinking maybe it was positioned back here, but I'm going to look around a little bit and see if I can find any pictures of the back of this car. But it looks like it could fit back there. But other than that, there's really no other place to talk about it, and you certainly couldn't fit the large Howard cams. There's two of them. You couldn't fit these anywhere else on the car. Okay, so there we are. You know, it came out looking pretty nice, I think, in the end. Fell together very nicely. Oh, there's my coil I put in over there. Let me go around the other side so you guys can see that. There's in there, and there's a tiny boss or something in there, which makes a great support bracket for the coil. So yeah, you know, I think in the end, I had a blast building this kit, and I think it went together very nicely. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing this kit again. I mean, it's just great. Now, in terms of, let me move that without dropping it off my modeling stand there. You know, in terms of the what I set out to do and what I did do, you know, got my candy finish. Very happy with the way that turned out. Got my chroming. That turned out. Got my pre-wired distributor. That turned out. Got all the seam lines off the, you know, tube frame. Wasn't able to make the wing and body removable. I mean, you can get the wing off, but you can't get that body off because the parachute's in the way. And you know, various shades of black on the frame. Did that. Looks really good. And opened the tube frame sides of the front. Yep. And you know, shooting primer with my airbrush. So. Everything, I'm going to say, you know, went pretty well, but, but I do have to go back and you know, go ahead and be honest about it. I was not able to make the body shell removal, so we cross that one out. But otherwise, everything else got a red check off the list, and it turned out to be a great kit. All right, we'll talk to you guys later on the next build.